Hey guys, what's up? Nico again here. And in this episode of 3D Print Profits, I have the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Frankly Built from Frankly Built. So Frank has created this massive media empire, if you will. I shouldn't say it. Was it an empire, Frank?
Conglomeration? I'm not sure.
We'll take that. We'll go with that. And Frank has been a friend of mine for a number of years now. I remember when he first started, when he had his first 10,000 subscribers. And now Frank, where are you at now, Frank?
YouTube, I just passed 515,000.
Yeah, 515,000 subscribers. Strong subscribers. And they're all very active. Anyway, so we're going to talk to Frank and see how he got started and all of that. And as always, all his links that you guys are going to be interested in are going to be in the description below. If you're on your podcast player, it's going to be in the show notes. And as always, please stay till the end of the episode where I'm going to give you guys your own product idea that you can 3D print and create a business out of so you can fund the hobby. Frank, sound good?
That sounds like a plan.
Awesome. So Frank, how did you get started, dude? Where did it all begin?
So humble beginnings, and then my dad floated me a couple mil, to start the. No, I'm kidding. I wish, right? So no, I started a few years ago. Where this July, right? Yeah, this July will be 3 years in the field and the hobby. It just started with me getting a 3D printer because I wanted to make a 3D printed Iron Man suit. For the people who can see it, it's this behind me. That was literally the painting on the door. That was the enter here for a good time, and then once I opened that door, it was a trick. I was lied to severely. It was way harder than I thought it was going to be. And it started to be like, oh, I can also make this keyblade, and oh, I can also make this helmet. I can also make so it was the disguise to all the other stuff I could start making. It's a trap. It was, yeah, if there's a meme of the century, it was that one. It's yeah, look behind this door. Yeah, there's cool stuff. And yeah, and I needed a way to fund it. So I start really early on, actually. I started on the side just selling some stuff. I made 1 or 2 helmets. I was okay with them. Looking back at them now, I can't believe I charged money for these things. They were awful. And I am so sorry to anybody who bought these. My bad.
That's
but I think
starts, though.
That's yeah. My first helmet, I know who has it, and I've offered to buy it back from him or just like sentimental value. But well, yeah, needed to fund the hobby, right? And selling stuff, it helps. It really helps. Printing stuff for some friends or family. At first I would charge like material costs, like just let me. All right, I sold this type of Iron Man helmet. Now let me get enough material back to make the next type. And then you kind of rinse and repeat, and it started falling over itself. At the same time, though, social media started to go really well. YouTube started to go well. Reddit shot me up into some virality, which was not expecting. So then social media started to become an income as well that I was able to dump back into the hobby. And it got out of hand really quick, and now we're here.
Man, so let's talk about YouTube for a second here, pal. What was that video that just shot you up? Because I could swear I was like, oh, Frank's at 5,000 subscribers. And then the next morning, I was like, Frank's at 30,000. What happened?
It was Reddit. It was never a video. It was not until we got into TikTok. I don't even want to talk about TikTok. What a cesspool. But we'll talk about sales. I'm sure we'll get to the point of sales, advertising yourself online, and TikTok is really good for that. It was Reddit. It was a Reddit post, and I'll never forget the picture. It was my Mark 85 suit. It was all primered white, and it was on an armor stand back in England in the first room, not the second one. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. And it looked like crud. It was just like kind of janky, lean in there. And I took a picture of it. And if anybody's been on Reddit long enough, the stuff that you don't expect to go viral goes viral. It's the stuff you put effort into tanks, because then you're trying. And I just threw a picture on there. It was either on Marvel or Next Effing Level. I don't even remember what Reddit it was. And it was just like working on a 3D printed Iron Man suit. And that was pretty much it. And then I woke up the next morning, and like it had tens of thousands of upvotes. And I was smart enough to like put my first comment I've been a Redditor for a while in other forums. So like, you know, you post something and then immediately I drop my first comment being like, describing it. Like, I'm working on an Iron Man suit. I'm doing this, doing that. If you guys are interested in learning anything about it, I have a YouTube channel. Like, it was just a really innocent comment just to give people some information. And that linked people to my YouTube. And then, yeah, the numbers started shooting up. It
And then
was
the
a nice
YouTube
surprise.
algorithm took over at that point.
Yeah, my views have never been astronomical. I'm not ungrateful for the ones I do get, but like, no, I'm happy with my YouTube. And then it's been a nice steady growth. And then a TikTok video. The worst thing you can do on TikTok is ask people to go to another platform. TikTok, if the second TikTok thinks you're trying to get people off of their platform, click the link in the bio because it can read your lip, like it can analyze your audio and it knows the words you're saying. The second it sees link, YouTube, check it out. It knows what to look for. And when it sees those type of videos and with the transcripts, it buries your video. So when you try to go follow my Twitter, go check out my Etsy shop. It's the worst thing you can say and do. So you have to be a little tactful about it. Signage, I've noticed, helps a lot. Like having signs or don't say the words, but insinuate it. It helps trick the algorithm a little bit. And I made a video about my YouTube on my TikTok. Like, hey guys, you know, I make tutorials, and I never said YouTube. I forget how I got around it. But then that video got like 2 million TikTok views. And that's what put me from 30,000 to like 150,000, like blew up.
Dude.
And it's all luck of the draw. And I'll never sit here and lie to anybody. Like, man, it's a hard work and perseverance on the internet. Sometimes you're just lucky, like right place, right time. Yeah. Like,
but you got to give yourself some credit though, Frank. How long you been have known each other? Easy 3-4 years.
3 years. Because,
dude,
yeah,
come on, man. You've been at this. You've given out great information. You've helped all our guys in our group. Like, I don't even promote my YouTube channel anymore. It's like, hey, you need information, go to Frank's. Don't come to me. Go to Frank.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop.
He does way better. I'm about to shut Nico Industries YouTube down.
I appreciate that.
No, but
no, because then people are gonna think people are gonna be like, oh, look at Frank, he buried Nico's YouTube. Great.
Dude, look, there's more than enough food on the table. There's more than enough food on the table.
That's what's great about this hobby.
To everyone.
That's like what's cool about like where me, you, Uncle Jesse, Joel, we've never dipped into each other, which is kind of crazy.
There's nothing but love there, man. Like,
yeah, like which is awesome.
You guys.
Yeah, like we're not in this area where like there's 100 of us doing the same kind of YouTube 3D printing cosplay kind of thing. Like we all like have our own little corner, and it's nice. I love it, dude. Yeah, I love it.
So what prompted you to do your channel and all of this? You just, hey, you wanted a hobby and you wanted to share information? I
love teaching people. I've always liked doing when I was grew up working on my car back in New Jersey. Like it was a Hyundai Tiburon. Like in the forums for that, there weren't a lot of people giving good, concise information on how to modify these cars. Take apart interiors, just little shit. And I liked typing up like forum tutorials. I take pictures, do like, MS Paint, make arrows, like take out these screws. And I liked teaching people. And then I had another YouTube channel with my buddy back in high school where we did martial arts and karate tutorials. So I got really used to talking to a camera.
That's where that came from.
Yeah, because it's not, no one's really, I don't think, born with it. You got to learn to be comfortable in front of it. Yeah. And then I just liked teaching people. And then, I ended up in the Gundam model Reddit, and I would do like tutorials on Imgur and I just liked sharing information with people, because if I struggled with it, like maybe I can help you not struggle with it. Like, yeah, I broke my car and hopefully you don't have to. That type of stuff. And I started making my Iron Man suit and posting it in some of the Facebook groups. I shared it on Reddit 1 or 2 times, and people were like, oh, like, how'd you print something that big? Oh, I just cut it up and welded it together with a soldering iron. How'd you sand something so smooth? I used a power tool. And, like things people weren't doing, because old 3D printing, you've been 3D printing a lot longer than I have. PLA used to be way weaker, like way crappier. The thermal deflection on it was like 100, like it melted at 160. So, you held
it was pretty bad.
Yeah. So like
a bad summer day would warp the entire thing.
Exactly. Now I can leave a helmet out relatively in good sunlight and not worry about it. But, it was all these taboos. Don't use power tools. Don't do that. And it's like, I came from Gundam models, which are plastic. So I'm like, it's plastic. Why can I do this stuff? So I started doing it, upset quite a few people on the 3D printing Reddit. That place is, find better places to go than the 3D printing Reddit. I'll say it right now. The place is awful. I detest that place. It is a lot of old souls who just need to move on. Yeah, I can't wait for my comment section. Anyway, yeah, so like I just started trying some other things, experimenting, and I made a lot of mistakes, but I started sharing that because I'm like, maybe you guys won't have to. Oh, this was a cool idea. I think this worked good. Maybe it'll work for you. And people resonated with that. I think people resonated with the honesty of like, oh, he really screwed this up. Cool. You
Yeah.
know, why hide it? And there's
Right.
channels that do that. Like I'm not talking about 3D printing, but like there's definitely makers or YouTubers out there who really like painting pictures, good pictures on stuff. And it's like, you messed that up a lot before you got that. You're
Absolutely.
lying. You're
I
lying.
know that. I know. I look at them some stuff and I'm like, dude, how many takes was that?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was fun. And the community was great because people wanted this information.
Yeah.
And you know, it was just this nice loop of just, all right, hey, I gave you this information. And then they'd be like, well, what about this? I'd be like, oh, what about that? And here we go. And
Yeah.
it just,
That's cool,
it was
man.
fun.
So
Fun.
let's back up to Etsy here. So what does material cost? So what is it exactly that you sell on your shop?
So initially can we predate Etsy a sec? And because I was selling stuff before Etsy to just fund the hobby. Yeah. Etsy was the more streamlined version. It is way easier.
Tell the story. Let's go.
I would just start printing some raw. I printed some raw Mark 85 helmets. I'd print some raw Stormbreakers, things that I could print out in kits, and then I'd post them on my Instagram story. Hey, I have, you know, a raw printed Stormbreaker, and it took me 2 rolls of material to make. I'd sell it for like 4 to 5 rolls worth. And that was worth it to people.
So 100% margin, a 2x return.
Exactly. Okay. And which to a lot of people, because I sold a lot of them, was fair because they didn't have a printer. And if they had, I sold so much stuff to people who had printers that were smaller than mine or who were thinking about getting a printer. But first they wanted to see, can I even finish a helmet? Let me buy a raw print from Frank, $50. That seems fair. It only cost me 20 to make it, you know, but there's the printer cost. I have the printer. I have the time slicing it. So it's not just drag, print, go. Like I had to set up the printer. I had to level it. I had to calibrate it. I had to arrange the parts properly to use the least amount of material. Like that's all time you put into this. It's not just the $20 roll. Like, oh, it can't.
Yeah, that's why when you said 2x, I was like, that's a little low, but
but again, it was the beginning. You know, I just wanted enough to keep the hobby going. You know, like, all right, now I can print another Stormbreaker, and then I have 2 extra rolls to do more helmets, do suits, whatever. Sponsorships aside, like, yes, I started getting sponsorships from YouTube and social medias. I still liked funding my own projects myself. I kind of had it separate. It's like, all right, I got to spend some sponsorship filament. That went into YouTube video projects like Starboost. Starboost's filament was all given to me by Monoprice to promote them. Awesome. But stuff I wanted to sell and make kind of side money on for myself, for camera equipment, you know, stuff even for my car, I was funding that. I would do that. I would sell that. So it was I was trying to separate them. It was tricky, but yeah, and people were very happy to buy the stuff. And eventually they became happy to buy it from me, which is still weird to get used to. They're like, no, I want to support you. So it turned into this like nice relationship of just people. Like I'd throw some stuff up, people would message me, we'd do some PayPal stuff. That was it. You know, like, hey, I'll send you the thing and good, we're good. And then eventually that morphed into when we moved here back to America, the East Coast. It was time. I was like, all right, I should set up an Etsy. I should start getting an Etsy out there. And I know Etsy's in a lot of controversy back and forth between the makerspace or like just buying and selling and like, oh, they take X amount, they take 30 to 40%. And me and my wife did a lot of the math and the research on, all right, well then, okay, you field your own website, but then you have to do all of this time and effort. It kind
marketing, right? So yeah, there's the leverage. So you're leveraging Etsy's already built in 90 million users versus you coming up with those users yourself.
Exactly. Now, granted, there's websites like Square and all this that handle all the transactions. You can do credit cards and PayPal. Like I know there's drop-ins for things like that, but then again, you have to get people to your website. Unless people get to that website, they're not going to search. Anybody goes to Etsy and searches Iron Man helmet, I'm going to pop up in some fashion. and that's, you're paying for that, or you know that, okay. They also have their whole review system, they also have their whole return, and like there's a lot you get from something like Etsy, and it's less mess. I literally can list, I can take right now, if I wanted to sell this thing on the wall, I can take a picture of it and list it from my phone right from one app, you know. So it's not for everybody, but for me it worked at the time. It was less mess, less headache.
Okay. So if you don't mind, how much revenue are we talking about monthly when it comes to your Etsy sales?
So it's hard for me to give a definite number because I only went really hard on Etsy in November of 2021 to start getting ready for the holidays. Because that's when people wanted to buy their stuff. They wanted their helmets for Christmas gifts and all of that. So that's when I think I had two or three Red Hood helmets, I had a couple finished helmets. That's what I was really aiming to push for.
Sure.
I think that in November I made,
and with the eyes and everything, right?
yep, everything. And then I also had raw kits. I pumped out like 15 raw Mark 85s, like just rinse and repeat G code, just pumping them out. A couple Mark 1s, raw printed Red Hoods, raw printed Nova helmets. And those, I think November I did upwards of $3,000 just from Etsy sales. And
Wow.
yeah, it was something. It was only a couple helmets. It wasn't a lot. And
Yeah,
that was after all the
but I
shipping
mean,
costs and everything.
for you to make that much on, you know, just a few products that's pretty damn good.
I was very happy with it. But, and then it's the time, because it's much easier to do raw prints. That's why a lot of people just do raw prints, because the time you spend finishing them, and that's all right. The time it's going to take me to finish one Mark 85 helmet, I could have just printed out 10 and sold those. So you gotta pick your battles on where is your time being best spent. What are people buying? What are people interested in? Everybody wants to finish stuff.
Question at this point.
Exactly.
So how much are you selling the raw prints versus the finished?
So on average, a raw print is, I'd say, about $100 for a raw print. And that very much depends on the helmet. A one-piece Nova helmet might be a little less because I can pump them out on one printer, done. It's 3/4 of a roll. Mark 85 helmets come in 3 to 4 pieces, but I also include electronics with these. It's like a Lego kit. I send you the LED eyes too. I send you some magnets and wire and foam, and you literally get it like a kit, so you can build it. And people like that because they don't have to go and source the parts. They just have to paint it, sand it, you know. The most expensive rocket I ever sold, I think, was $150. And that was a Mark 85 helmet with like servos, like a servo kit in it, so they could, so they could just build it all up. And they obviously, that was worth it to somebody because they paid for it. And that does, you know, people will sometimes try to drag prices through the muck, and it's like, oh, you can't believe you're charging this much for that. It's like, it's not just the raw print, it's the convenience, it's the sourcing, it's a lot more that goes into it, you know.
And
I don't have to tell you that.
and how much are you selling the finished ones for? Because these are like painted, sanded, like
I'll go
like
I'll
what
go
you would
high
see
low.
in the movies kind of deal.
Thank you. I don't know. They look good on camera. I'll just say that. The cheapest ones I think I've ever sold were like $200, and that was like a really not great Red Hood helmet. I was able to battle damage and weather it and hide a lot of the injustices on it. Like Mark 85 helmets that aren't motorized, sometimes they'll go anywhere between $250 to $350. They have magnetic face plates. One of the most expensive ones I ever sold was a $500 one, and that was a real custom Mark 85 with a couple special things in it. Back before Hasbro kills us sometimes.
Yes, they do.
With the Stormbreaker, before Hasbro offered that Stormbreaker, people were willing to pay $600-700 for my Asgardian Stormbreaker because you could not get it anywhere. Now you can get the Groot version, which did cut into me a little bit, but not as much. I do feel bad for the people who were selling Stormbreakers, like Henry Creations and stuff, who are selling full. Yeah, he's a gem.
The dude, I love that dude. Henry's
most modelers are
amazing maker.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Everybody in like the Thor side of the modeling world are all like Quentin S, Henry, like they're all nice dudes. I don't know people who like Thor are just, I don't know, they think they're just nice guys.
It's Thor.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah. So yeah, so uh, I don't like to sell to the people who watch my videos, and I'll put that out there in a way, and hopefully I can explain this. I'll have people come in my comments sometimes or message me. I can't like, why would I pay 150 for this raw printed helmet, or when I can go buy an ender for 150? It's like, then go do that.
Right.
I'm encouraging you to go do that. I'm not selling to you though. You're not my target market, because when you're in sales, you have to have a target market. You can't be dumb
Right.
and just, if anybody buys it, they buy it. No, like my target market is grown into the people who, they don't have the time to 3D print. They don't care that I'll sell them 150. They don't care about the kit. They want the finished thing. And if you
Right.
put a price there, if you value it at something, and they do too, they will pay for it. I have people offering me $1,000 for my Green Goblin helmet, because you can't really get that anywhere. I told them no, because I'm not making another one, because that thing is the worst thing I've ever made in the world, and I refuse to go through that pain again. But you find your market. A great place to sell props and replicas, broken Captain America shields before they started really taking over Etsy, his World War I shield. It's the collectors. It's the people with FU money who have, a whole basement movie theater with hundreds of Hot Toys figures. Like, they don't want to take the time to build something. They want the thing. They just, how much? That's it. How much? They have the money to spend.
I teach that in the business course, where I say, dude, you're not selling to people who already have 3D printers. You got to sell to people who is looking for that product.
Yep.
Right.
And they're the worst people.
You have to be specific to who you're going to sell to.
Yes. And unfortunately, they're the worst people to catch you selling 3D prints too, because everybody has an opinion about how much, you're overcharging. It's like, they're buying it though. So who says you could then, if you're undercharging, you're not valuing yourself as much as I am. So why is that my fault? That's your fault.
That's your issue.
Yeah.
So what was your first machine?
The Creality CR10S. It's still in the garage. Still 2 years. 2 years it ran non-stop. Printed most of my Mark 85, printed so much stuff. And the last print it did in England, it was parts to another suit I can't talk about yet. It was the last part before I had to let it cool down and start boxing up my printers for the move. The heated bed died.
Oh,
2 years. 2 years. I swapped the
always
main board.
the first to go. It's so weird.
But I don't know if it's I have a silent board in it, so I haven't troubleshot it yet. I haven't turned it on since it's been here
for like a year now.
A year. I have a lot of other printers. So I'm just gonna swap the main board. If it doesn't fix it, then I know it's the bed. So it'll be easy fix. I just haven't had the time to fix it. So.
Gotcha. So what machines do you have now? What's your current workhorse? Because CR10 is.
How long do you want this podcast to be? Shit. So.
Give me three, because I know you got a bunch, man.
Okay, I'll start with my workhorses right now are my 5 to 6 Ender 3s. I have, where they're sitting in the spare room right now, I have an Ender 3 Pro, a taller Ender 3, a normal Ender 3, the Ender 3 S1, which is amazing, by the way, my God. And then another Ender 3. And then I have 3 Voxel Lab Aquilas that they're 2 of them broke. They're off to the side. But man, those enders work. You just take care of them the right way, make sure they're level, clean the bed, and they just freaking work. I love them. And then there's the Creality CR10S Pro V2s. I have 2 of them. They are champs. They just go. And then I have my Ender 5 Pluses. They get a little temperamental sometimes. I have 4 of those. I don't think I've ever had all 4 of them up and running at the same time. One of them is always
I never walked away from the CR10S4s, man. As soon as I got one, I was like, dude, I'm never going back. Like, this one works. Not going to try to fix what isn't broken.
That's it. I have an S4. I was very surprised about it. My S5 is the biggest piece of crap in the world.
Not if you get it from Tiny Machines. Tiny Machines has great products.
Yeah, they do the upgrades that you would otherwise had to do. So the fact that how much upgrades they need to do when you buy it just speaks to the S5. Like, they don't just throw a BL touch on it and call it a day. They do a lot more than that to an S5.
Because I was talking to Chris about it, and the bed is a
Awful.
stock S5 from
Awful.
Gear Best or whatever is not. It's going to be bowed, guaranteed. But what they do is they put a different industry secret plate on there, is what he says.
Well, it's all they did was take a CR10S and just beef it up. It's the same heat pad, it's the same belt. Like it was a cash grab on Creality's part. But the S4, I was surprised by it. Actually, like I've gotten some pretty good prints off my S4.
It's the Goldilocks of
yeah, it was weird.
The CR10s.
And then the CR10 Max is like one of my favorite printers because it's huge and it's what an S5 should have been.
So are you designing too, Frank? Are you doing any 3D modeling?
I design all of my stuff right here. I'm kidding. Wow, quote me. No, I don't know how to design. I don't know how to 3D model. And you don't need to. I think so, at least. Some people may differ with that. No, you should only sell stuff you design. Why? Now there's tons of different rights and laws. I don't think either of us want to go down the actual.
We're not
IP
lawyers and can't give any advice.
Yes,
so.
Correct. Now, as it comes to Creative Commons licensing from the maker of the model, that is different. That's something we can kind of speak on, because if they are okay with their artwork, their recreation, their set piece being printed and sold, they will state that. It's right there, clear as day. Please do not sell my files, but you can print them and sell them. Do not print and sell my files. Do not, it's all right there. Easy to read, and the model makers selling these or giving them away. There's tons of free files on Thingiverse you can print and sell. They don't care. They made them for free, whatever. You can buy licenses from companies to sell all of their 3D models. Like, you have to read and make sure you're doing the proper research. And also usually when you download files, it gives you a text document and something that talks about their Creative Commons license. If you're selling the files, make sure you save that, just in case they ever want to go and change their mind.
Gotcha. So how else does the business make money now? So I know you make money from Etsy. How else does the business make money?
So it's kind of tricky. Social media. I mean, now I have people reach out to me and ask about my Etsy. I have some decent reviews on it. I think I have 30 to 40 sales, all 5 stars, which is good for a startup shop. But I'm not a startup shop. I don't have to advertise my Etsy, which is very different than, little Billy down the road who got his first 3D printer, wants to start paying for the hobby, wants to open an Etsy. He has no customers. He has no audience. He has no reach. He needs to rely on Etsy's algorithm. He needs to rely on word of mouth, posting his own stuff, getting his word in. So I don't give people Etsy advice because I don't know how to start an Etsy. I only know how to answer the requests from the fans and crowd I've drawn who are asking me to make stuff. I just centralized it. That's what Etsy was for me. It wasn't, oh, I really want to start making money by selling prints and fund the hobby. It was, hey, you should sell some helmets. You should sell this. You should make this. You should do that. Etsy was just like, all right, hey guys, I finally opened up an Etsy. Check here. If it's not there, I don't have it. It's not for sale. So I didn't have to go through the growing pains of finding an audience. I don't advertise my Etsy. I let it sit there right in my link tree. Plenty of people find it. I'm sure if I've never mentioned it. I think I mentioned it one time on TikTok and never again. Way too many messages, way too many requests. And if you don't answer your messages on Etsy, it affects your response times and
it takes into the algorithm.
Yep.
Cool, man. So you've built this giant YouTube channel that I myself, sometimes, when I need to do something on my props, I'm just go to Frank. Frank did a way better job on this video than I ever would. And so I'll go there. So we have,
thanks, man.
So we have YouTube for income. We have sponsorship. I know Skillshare got with the guitar. I play guitar too. I was like, oh, check out Frank.
Yeah, she's sitting back there. Ooh.
Yeah, mine's right next to me right here. And so those are all great income, man. And I'm so blown away from what you've built. So congratulations. I can't believe how it's like watching your little brother like be successful. And to me, that warms my heart, man. So what's next for you, man? What's next for Frankly Built? What's the future look like for Frankly Built?
Well, with how everything's been going, this October, I will be be separating the military of 10 years active duty Air Force. I'm going to finally be getting out to pursue this full time, to try social media full time, YouTube tutorials. I'll be able to dig more into my Etsy shop. Actually, start right now. I don't take any requests. I don't take any custom requests. If I don't have it, I don't have it. I didn't make it. Get it while it's hot, you know. But I'll be able to start fielding. Hey, can you make a goblin helmet for the right price? Yes, because now that is going to be a part of my like livelihood income, not the extra income that this has all been providing me. It's going to be a definite shift. I'll be able to upload more videos. I'll be able to do more ambitious projects. I'll be able to travel more cons, more events. It is scary as hell. But
Yes. We'll talk about that offline.
but I am hopeful. I'm staying Air Force Reserve. I'm not ejecting completely. Just keep a foot in the door for some retirement and medical benefits, just in case.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'll be flipping right now. Military's full time. I do this on the side while I can. It'll be a flip. It'll be all right. This is full time, and then one weekend a month I'll have the military. So
sweet, man. I remember when I separated from the military. Good times. Good times.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
I think that's it, Frank. So before we go, what is your number one tip for anyone who wants to start their own 3D printing side hustle?
Put me on the spot like that. Jeez.
Should have warned you in the beginning.
Don't let any negative reviews deter you. Learn from them. My God, there is one, I won't say his name, but God bless his heart. He is trying to get his Etsy running on Instagram, and he's been hit with a few negative reviews. And people I would. He gets a little defensive. Well, they saw the pictures and they did this and they did that. And I told him, like, hey man, really look at this. Like, look how much you charge them for it. Look what their complaint actually is. It's not good quality. You rushed this. You can see, like, he's had to step back a little bit and like, all right, no, I see where they're coming from. It's like, you need to do better next time, and then do better than that, and better. Like, he's saying this stuff for a reason. He's not saying it to be a troll. He's not, you provided him a product. It didn't meet his expectations, you know, and you need to address that and either increase, learn, do better, or pack it up, because then you have to. You are providing a service now. So it's not easy. It's not for everybody. But if you just take your time with it and just find your target market, that's definitely key.
Sweet. So again, Frank, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. So for everyone who stayed through the episode, I told you guys I'm gonna give you guys your own products that you guys can 3D print and sell, but you don't have to try to compete with Frank, because you'd lose 11 times out of 10. Frank's calling me right now with his little notepad. If you're a cyclist, what can you make for your tribe, right? Just like Frank said, you got to find something that you can sell your tribe. And so if you're a cyclist, what can you make? Maybe a custom bottle holder, maybe a GoPro mount for the front of your handlebars, maybe some custom wheel decor, something. Those things can light up too, right? You can just put your reflectors on there. So it's up to you guys to really make this what you will. All right. There's so many things you guys can 3D print and make. There's no reason for you to be competing and trying to rack your brain what to make to sell. If you're a cyclist, fund your hobby, do cyclist stuff. Frank, sound good?
And don't sell anything Batman related. Yes, correct. It'll get taken down real fast.
All right. Again, all the links from this video, all of Frank's printers, all 30 minutes of that content, it's going to be in the link in the description below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on your favorite podcast player, it's in the show notes down below. Again, Frank, congratulations, buddy. I cannot be happier for you.
Thank you.
Really, really thankful that you're here, man. I appreciate it. Peace out, yo. We were talking about going full time in this.
Yeah.
Dude, you know who I called I called Joel about it. Out of all of us four, you, me, Uncle Jesse, and Joel jumped first.
Really?
So I texted Joel. I said, "Hey," I was talking to David, his producer, and I said, "Hey, let me talk to Joel." I texted Joel, and he had just jumped in full time, and he said, "Yeah, man, it's scary, but best decision he's ever made." And I said, "Man, I can't believe I'm doing this," and I did it, dude. It was so scary, but dude, I did it, and it was the best. Dude, 3 months later, I get a phone call from Uncle Jesse. Dude, we talked for like 2 hours. He's like, "Man, I'm gonna do it." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Just go, dude, just go, just do it. It's the best thing you're gonna do."
That was pretty recently too,
Uncle Jesse 18 months this month.
Yeah, he had only been in it a few months when he came to visit EPAX with me. He'd like, it was a few months prior to that he'd really dove in, and I thought he was full time the whole damn time.
No, because he was producing like amazing videos.
He edits all his own shit, right? You know?
What's that?
Does he edit all his own stuff?
Yeah. He doesn't even have a team. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, he's ridiculous. His videos get so many views. He's got the algorithm good. Him and Joel both.
Dude, amazing, man. But dude, 500,000 subscribers. That's insane, man. Congratulations, bro.
We're getting there. We're on the road to a milli. I hope.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hopefully, what Joel's I'm catching up. It's kind of scary, actually.
Dude, he's almost there, man.
Yeah.